Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darson Chauskas. Today is the 6th of September 2018. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday morning session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments I believe are quite important right now. And But before we start looking at the charts, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website and specifically our JFD research page, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. So let me just load it up here, and yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves. So yeah, feel free to check us out. Yep, just like I said, jfdbrokers.com, and then just go into the research tab. Okay. So, but for now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on is the DAX. Now, DAX is not feeling very well, let's put it that way. Or, yeah, let's put it in simplistic words. We've managed to move lower here. Certainly, yesterday's day was marked by a very strong bearish candle. Today, already, we can see that futures. Well, actually, yesterday's candles was marked by the very strong bearish candle. The day before that as well, as you can see. So for now, judging by this formation that I've got marked here, as you can see that I had let's call it a symmetrical triangle, but a bit of a tentative one, I would say, because we do have some gaps here and a huge blank space here as well. So, but nevertheless, like I said, we did have this downside support line. This downside support line, medium term downside support line, running here from around the end of March. So now the index has managed to break this one, and of course it also break one of my key levels that I was watching here, and that was around the 12,100 level. So yesterday, of course, yesterday the index, the DAX, managed to close around the 1240 zone, something like that, approximately there. But still, I mean, at the moment, this is kind of, to be honest, it's not really looking well, let's put it that way. At the moment, we're still aiming for lower levels. We could see maybe a bit of a correction here back to the upside. As you can see, we're breaking this Bollinger Band here on the lower side. We could see maybe something like a bit of a retracement back to the upside, touch the 12,100 level, and then move lower again. So something for you guys, basically, long story short, keep your eyes on the 12,100 level today. This could be the level to watch, because like I said, we could see a bit of a correction back to the upside, and then another push lower. Certainly, one thing to point out as well, guys, I mean, because we do have this upside, this short medium term upside support line as well, we could maybe even see a possible move a little bit higher, actually, just to kind of, you know, take out all those sellers, and where we could test this line from underneath and then sell off again, where this area could be a perfect, well, let's maybe not say the words perfect, but a good opportunity for the bears to jump in again and to kind of enjoy the higher price here. So certainly, of course, let's not exclude as well the possibility just a straight continuation to the downside, but to be honest, a bit of a correction back to the upside could be a good scenario. But like I said, again, because the index is very weak and we did break this this upside support line here to the downside, and we've broken it, and of course now we're still kind of like, it's creating more bearish scenario than bullish. For us to, let's say, start looking at the higher levels, well, we would need to see a nice good break and a close above this level here, above this line, and of course another good confirmation could be a strong good move above the 12,300 level, or especially I would say a close above this level. So for now, certainly we're quite skeptical about the upside here. Nevertheless, we could, like I said, see a bit of a correction here, maybe back to the upside, test the 12,100 and then move lower again. So very good potential areas of support here. We can see on the lower side, the first potential area is the 11,795, and slightly below that, let me just quickly drag one of these lines here, and slightly below that we do have this area right here at around 11,720, so something like that, so around 25 I would say even. So a good one to watch as well, something for you guys to keep an eye on. But certainly, like I said, just be very careful today with, you know, and kind of entering short here. Probably wait for maybe a bit of a correction here and then jump in again. So something like this. This could be a possible scenario. Let's jump into one commodity quickly, or should I say precious metal, and that's silver, and that's a daily chart here. As you can see, it continues to trade lower, continues to hold below this a bit of a, well, maybe tentative, well actually no, I mean it's a nice downside resistance line. So continues to trade lower. Certainly you can see that I had this level here, this key important level around the 14.395 area, approximately there. It broke it nicely to the downside, closed strongly below it. So now of course we could maybe see a bit of a correction back to the upside, but to be honest, it's very difficult to at these levels to start buying, because we need to see a good confirmation first before we start entering with our buying with our buying orders here. A nice good confirmation here could be a break above this key level here, the 14.395, and then actually a nice good break and a close above this downside resistance line. So this is where we could potentially aim for higher levels after that, but until we see that, to be honest, we're quite skeptical about the upside, and we could see maybe further declines. Now certainly to find a good possible area for the next support, of course initially of course you can target this low that we had about 2 days ago. So this one here seen on the 4th of September, and that's approximately around the 14 level, so slightly maybe just above it, as a 14.007 if we were to be more precise, to be honest. But like I said, just let's round it up, and like I said, the 14 level, it becomes like a psychological level for this precious metal, and keep your eyes on that. If we start breaking this one again and if we see a close below the 14 level, now this could, like I said, open the path towards even lower levels. Certainly let's just zoom back out here. Actually we could even put a weekly chart here. As you can see, this is the in the slightly longer term, this is the level that I've got highlighted here, the 13.645, where you can round it up to the 65. 13.65 could be a nice potential area of support. As you can see here, in 2015, December 2015, it acted as a very nice strong area of support. So if this precious metal, if silver wants to continue pushing lower, this is the level to watch, guys. I mean, the 13.65 approximately there could be a nice potential area of support, given the fact that it acted as a very strong area of support here in 2015. And if we start zooming out here, as you can see, this was the lowest point of 2015. So let's jump back into a few other instruments. So one that I really wanted to quickly touch on, and that's Bitcoin. I've talked about it yesterday in my Traders Espresso. Let's put a daily chart in this one, and boom. So this is what I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about this channel basically, and certainly yesterday, as you probably some of you are aware, the news came out around Bitcoin, and well, big influencer, let's say, of this one, of this crypto declining here sharply, was the fact that the big news was the fact about the Goldman Sachs postponing its the opening of its crypto trading desk. So and that this had an effect, a strong effect on Bitcoin. And as you can see, we broke this channel here to the downside. We broke it nicely, and of course now we're going to be targeting a little bit even lower levels. So a good potential area of support could be this recent low that we saw here around mid-August, and that's around the 5,850 area, approximately there. So something for you guys to keep an eye on. Slightly above that, we do have another good potential area of support here, not far from where the price is trading right now, and that's around the 6,250 mark, approximately there. So of course we're going to round it up a little bit, but yeah, keep your eyes on that one. And this little arrow here could be shifted here a little bit lower, and this is the scenario that we could expect potentially. Of course, we could see maybe a bit of a correction back, a little bounce here from this level, the 6,250, bounce back up here. Maybe, of course, we will have to reevaluate here. If we do get a scenario like this, we could see a bounce back to the upside here, where the bears could maybe take advantage of higher prices and then drive this crypto even lower again. So for now, be very careful with this one. Certainly the momentum is more to the downside, but like I said, we're getting closer towards this key area of support around the 6,250 area. Let's see what he wants to do with it. If it holds nicely, like I said, we could expect a bit of a correction back to the upside here, but then we'll just have to reevaluate it quickly again and see where is that level of resistance, this nice level of resistance that the traders could find, and this crypto could find, and for the bears, let's say, to jump in again. So keep your eyes on the Bitcoin, of course, for those who like to trade cryptos. Jumping into a few currencies now, GBPUSD. Still within this downwards moving channel here, but as you know, yesterday, for those who are trading GBPUSD, we saw this nice spike here to the upside, almost managing to reach this upper bound of the falling channel, but still just fell a few pips away from it. But certainly still something to keep an eye on. We could maybe expect this one maybe drive a little bit back up here, move a little bit higher, test maybe this upper bound of this channel, of this falling channel, and then move lower. So basically, long story short, we be very careful, because we could see maybe a test of this upper bound of the falling channel, where the bears could take advantage of that and maybe drive this down again. So because the overall trend is still to the downside, and be very careful with your buy orders. For us to, let's say, start examining higher levels, we would need to see a nice good break in a close above this downwards moving channel here, and of course this could open the path towards even higher levels. We could start positioning ourselves for a possible test of the 130.80, initially of course around the 130.45, but then, like I said, the 130.80, and then even higher. So but until we see that close, a break and a close above the upper bound of the falling channel, we're still going to stick to the downside. If this, let's say, looking at the short term, from the very short-term picture, this is the level for you to watch here today, guys, and that's around the 128.70 mark, approximately there. Very good potential area of support. If that gets broken, this is opening the path towards even lower levels, so something like this could be possible. Let me just readjust a few lines here. Actually get rid of some of these boxes here and no longer valid, but this is the area to watch. So if you're looking for something like very short term, keep your eyes on the 128.70. A nice good break and a close here could lead towards a possible test of the 127.85, and then even lower towards the aforementioned lower bound of the falling channel. So something, guys, for you to keep an eye on. And the last pair that I really wanted to quickly touch on, and that's USDCAD. Yesterday we had some news from the Bank of Canada keeping their interest rates, and now you can see that this was the reaction. So the Canadian dollar fell on the news and against the US dollar, and now of course we're stuck here in this small little range, which is actually forming to be a potentially nice trade here. Let me just kind of mark a few levels, and this is something to keep an eye on. So the 131.55 mark approximately there could be a potential nice area of support here to watch, and this little level right here around the 132.100, something like that. So a nice good break here above this 132.100 could open the path towards higher levels, and the next potential area of resistance to watch is the 132.90. Now this 132.90 acted as a very strong area of resistance here back in July, around the mid-July. So something for you guys to keep an eye on. Let me just put it narrow here. So basically this could be a potential scenario here. If it doesn't, of course, be very careful, because we already are quite overbought here. We could maybe see a bit of a correction, but probably at some later stage. So for now, this is looking still positive. This pair is looking still positive, and we could see further acceleration in the rate. But for a good confirmation, and for a good confirmation, we would need to see a nice good break here above the 132.100 level. On the downside, keep your eyes on the 131.55, the one that I was just talking about, and a nice good break and a close below that level could open the way towards this area right here at around 131.100, maybe slightly below that a little bit. Actually, let me just quickly adjust this. Yep, there we go. I mean, this is the area to watch. I will probably rephrase my not the 131.100. Keep your eyes on the 130.85 area approximately there, and this could be a good potential area of support. As you can see, in the past it acted as a very strong area of resistance here on the last day of August, and then a nice bouncing ground in the beginning of September. So the 130.85 mark approximately there could be the nice area to watch if we get a nice break here below the 131.55. Okay guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Kind of went a bit over my time, but thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope you found it useful. And if you want to join me later on my Traders Tea Time, and that's 13:15 GMT, 14:15 British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.